everyone, and welcome back to Fully Playable Games. So on today's game room update, we are going to be making some, well, we've got a whole list of things to do, but it is going to be absolutely monumental in actually changing the games room and getting it to its final position. So the first port of call is to actually get away all of our new additions. So you'll see I'm currently sat next to the Master System and Dreamcast shelf, where we were sat at the end of last week's video when we had a sort out of the shelf. And yeah, today what we're going to do is we're going to start off with putting all of the new additions away. But what I'm actually going to do with the Master System, I'm actually going to put those away as I'm going to alphabetize them as I'm putting them away. The CDI and the Evercade are obviously new additions, so they will just be going straight in the shelves. But what we're going to do with the CDI shelf, that's going to be the same shelf as the Japanese Saturn. So we're actually going to put a last bit of trunking up. So that was the one that I had left over from when we'd done the main room. So yeah, that's going to go in there. Then I did manage to find my end gauges, so they're going to go on the shelves. And looking at the amount of Evercade games that we've got, so we've got that one. We are going to have enough room on the shelf to actually put the Evercade itself. So yes, so what we'll do is I'm going to switch over to the GoPro. And for this, so we've got 11 new additions for the Master System shelf. Now, with these two that we've got facing out, we can actually get 8 more in the shelf. So what I'm actually going to do is, so I think that one, and Super Tennis are actually going to go behind, because I'm looking at all of the new additions and I don't actually want to put any of them behind. So what I'm going to do is just straight off the bat, yeah, and you'll see there I've actually got the Master System itself behind there as well. So put those back there, and then, as I say, I am just going to quickly sort these as we're putting them out. So we've got the A's down there. I don't think we've got any new A's. Nope. Black belt is probably next. So if you give me 2 seconds, I'm going to quickly put these up, and then yeah, we'll come back and I'll talk you through my train of thought for the other shelves. Okay, so there we go. We have got all of the Master System games in now and they're alphabetized. So that is our first shelf to actually be finished. But what I am going to do is I'm going to show you my normal process on one of the bigger collections that I've got. So it'll probably be one of the PlayStation ones once we get over that side of the room. I will deal with the Dreamcast in a little while. But first off, let's get all of these CDs in. Right, but one thing I do keep forgetting is that the CDI games come in 2 different cases. And yeah, the standard ones, and I think I have just royally mucked up. Oh no, they do fit in. Thank God. I thought I'd completely messed up because I didn't realise that they were actually taller than a standard case. But I'm probably, I don't know whether to do the trunking trick at the moment. Because I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to split. So we'll have the big cases on first, and then the standard CD cases separate. So I basically sort of order them or alphabetize them in 2 different sections. So, Video Speedway, Power Hitter, Chess, Pinball, so PI, oh, what about that? Oh, there you go. So the only thing with these CDI cases is that they don't actually have a hinge on them. They're completely removable. It's not like they sort of hinge up like a normal CD case. Right, Treasures of the Smithsonian. Right, luckily James Brown, because I haven't got the front for that. That can go there. Then we've got Pinball, Power Hitter. Right, so do I want the Zeldas facing forward? I think for now I'm going to, right, so no, these I'm going to put at the end because the names are actually different. So we've got Link and we've got Zelda. So I will put those together at the end of these ones. Right, so that one goes in next. Then that one. And then Video Speedway. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Faces of Evil in like that. And Wand of Gamelon in like that. Yes. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to support behind it with one of these. Otherwise it's going to do that. And then we'll get the standard ones in. So this one, I'm just going to put that behind because that's not going to be able to put out. So we've got Burn Cycle, Alien Gate, then Burn Cycle. No, do you know what? I'm going to do Seventh Guest first because when I alphabetise, I don't include the. So yeah, that is normally how I alphabetise my games. B, C, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. And we've got loads of L's. So we've got Lemmings, Little Devil, Lost Eden, Mad Dog, and then Space Ace. Okay, so that's not going to work. That's not going to work how I want it to work. I'll tell you what we'll do, we'll pad it out. There we go, now that shouldn't move. Alright, so I'll put these in like that. And then what I will do is I will come back in a bit and put the bit of trunking behind. It's a shame that I can't get that one to stand up. I think for now I'm going to put that behind. And then we'll put Nissan Driver like that. That's then not going to give us enough room to put anything else in. So I'll tell you what, I'm just going to put that there like that for now. Yeah, I'll work this out. Like I tell you what, actually, I'm going to recede that back just so it matches in with the Zelda. Right, so next up, just going to get a couple more of these. I'm going to put one there, and oh, probably one there and there. Let's see how they go. So we've got that one. So it's not perfect, but what I will do is I will look to get proper display stands for the Engages at some point. And then we've got, so with these, I'm not going to alphabetize these ones. What I'm actually going to do is put them in their number order. So I've already ordered them as to sort of how they should be. Right, so they're going now, and then we've got display stand. Just got to try and get the cover off. There we go, and then we'll put the actual Evercade on the shelf as well. So yeah, that, I will admit, that is looking so much better, especially over the way that it was last week. So yeah, I'm happy-ish with that. I think probably the N-gauge shelf will probably need a bit more of a look, but I'll probably do that once we get the proper stands for the N-gauges. Happy that the CDIs are finally in their new home, because as I say, they have been piled up there now for a little while. So yeah, overall, really happy with that. But what we're going to do now is we're going to switch over to, I'll probably, no, what I'll do actually quickly, because we've got, no, what I'm going to do actually, I am going to switch over to the PlayStation shelves. And what we'll do is we'll get the first shelf alphabetized, because I think what we'll do is I'll start putting the games away as we get to each of the consoles. So I think that's probably going to be the best way to do it. So let me get everything moved across, and as I say, we will tackle our first set of games and get the probably the PS1 we'll tackle now, and we'll get them properly alphabetized. Okay, so I am going to take you through alphabetizing one console, and then I am going to just blitz through and do the rest of the room. So I am going to start off with the PS1, and yeah, what we're going to do here is there'll be a bit of reorganising. So what my plan is to move the rental games and the cardboard games down to here. At the moment, I've got the short form cases down here. So I'm going to move these up, and then we're going to have the platinums, then the short form platinums, then the short form games in, or they'll be at the end here. And then the whole top 4 shelves are all going to be sort of the black labels. I'm going to keep the double ones and the sort of Japanese and US games on the last shelf. But yeah, that's my plan for it. So what I'm going to be doing is literally going through, and I'm going to pull out these ones. So what we got a couple of different letters here. And then what I've done is I've set up the other camera as well. And I'm literally going to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q. Right, so because that's a T, I'm going to put that off to the side, just because we won't have enough room for it. I'm going to try and get, here we go. So E, C, another C, C, D, E, F, G, okay, L, M. So I'll put M down there, another E, another D, another D, and it's just going to go like that. So give me 2 minutes. I'm going to speed through and get them all set up in their piles on the floor. Okay, so that is everything out of the shelf, black label wise. Yeah, what I have done is everything from T onwards, I haven't piled up yet, just because obviously room, and I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to step on anything. And I'll be honest, there is one game series that's a bit of a problem, and that is the Tom Clancy Rainbow Six games, because normally what I would do in any other platform, these would be marked under T for Tom Clancy. But with these ones, obviously on the side, they don't mention Tom Clancy at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put these under R and actually have these as a bit of an exception to the rule. So I'll stick those down there. And then what we'll do is we will grab the A's out of the way. Right, so what I'm going to do is just put them there for a minute. And then quickly, so we've got ALs, AT. Right, so Ace Combat is probably going to be our first one. So that's AC. Now we've got AC, yeah, that's ACE, ACT for Action Man. AL, AR. Right, so that's basically how it's going to be. So we've got ALE is going to come first. So Alien Resurrection, then Alien Trilogy, and Alone in the Dark. Then we've got, right, so first one that we've got is Army Men 3D. No, we've not. We've got Arcade's Greatest Hits first. Then Army Men 3D. Army Men Lancy and Air, and Army Man Sarge's Heroes. There's that. And then we've got the Atari collection. So that's AT. And there we go. That's the A's in. So what I'm going to do now is I am just going to blitz through getting the remaining letters in the shelf. And then what we'll do is, yeah, I'll probably just sort of blitz through, get these ones moved down as well. But what I am going to do straight off the bat, I'm going to pull Soul Blade out because in a recent video we did add Soul Blade as a small case. So yeah, that is going to go into the shelf today. And then that one can go just behind. Right, yes. Because I am as well going to be taking one out. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to add Popstar Maker in. Not that it's anything special. But what I did notice was as I was sorting through the C's, I've actually got 2 Command & Conquers in there. So I'm going to put one on the shelf and the other one can go behind. So yeah, with that said, let's blitz through and then we'll get the rest of the PS1 games in the shelf and then I'll be back with you once we've finished. Okay, so there we go. We are finally done. It's probably taken me about 45 minutes to get all of it in and alphabetized. So yeah, really happy this is now done. Because as I say, this is the ordering the games has been something that I've been wanting to get done since putting all the games in the room. So yeah, really glad that they're finally in and yeah, we can start pushing ahead. So what I'm going to do is probably over I might spend another hour or so this evening. I might start on the PS2 but then I'll probably carry on tomorrow when I get home from work. Yeah, I'm going to tackle the PS2. Ideally I'd like to get the whole PlayStation bookcase done within the next sort of day or so. But what I'm going to do for you, you will just see it as sort of clips and snippets because, yeah, this is going to take a dog's age to do. So, yes, I will catch up with you once the whole room's finished. Okay, so that is majority of the games organised. So yes, we have done, so obviously we started off with all the PlayStation, then I went through the Xbox, then all the Nintendo, the Sega, and then we ended with the Mega Drive. So you will notice that I didn't actually tackle the two bookcases behind me. I will be honest, these bookcases have taken me long enough without trying to get that in this week as well. Yeah, it's all come about a completely wrong time. I've had sort of extra time at work and everything like that. So yeah, a lot of these bookcases were actually done late into the night during the week. But what I will do is, off camera, I am going to get the shelves behind me sorted. Obviously, we've got the Master System done. I think, yeah. So we've got the Master System done. I need to do the Dreamcast. Then I think pretty much the CDI we sorted as we were putting in. The Evercade we sorted as we were putting in. I'm not going to worry about the Electron. I keep forgetting the name of it. I'm not going to worry about the Electron game. So apart from the Dreamcast on this side, I'm probably going to leave it as is. And then on this side, obviously we've got the PS5 to sort out, and I do want to sort out the Atari shelf because we have got, obviously I haven't put the new additions away for those two shelves, but I will be doing that. I'll do that at the same time off camera. I'm not going to alphabetize the Commodore and the Spectrum shelves. I might do it sometime in the future, but for now, I'm not overly worried about them. But yeah, I will admit, I'm looking around the room and I am absolutely loving it. I really am. So obviously what I did do, the Wii was probably the biggest one. Because when we put the Wii in the room, we literally just put a whole load of games out. None of it had been sorted, and to be quite honest, I think so when I looked through Xbox, original Xbox, Xbox 360, and even Xbox One. I think that was the same as well. The Wii, as I say, they're all consoles that I've had to go through and actually organise them, pull the games from the front, from the back that I wanted at the front, put some at the back. But yeah, I think in general, I'm really happy with how it all looks. I like having the groups of games as well. So like with my Fear games, my FIFA games, even like my Mario games here, definitely loving it. Oh, that's what it didn't do. I missed a game. So I forgot to put Krusty's Super Fun House in the shelf. I'd put it there to put in when we were doing it, but completely forgot about it. So I will do that in a minute. But yeah, overall, I'm really happy with how the shelves turned out. Absolutely over the moon. In fact, I finally got this job done because it has been one that's been hanging over my head for so long. So yes. But what we're going to do now is we are going to head out on a bit of a special game hunt, actually, because even though I am going to CEX, I'm actually going to be looking at a couple of other shops in the town as well. So I'm actually going to be heading out to Chatham, and yeah, I haven't been to Chatham in absolutely years, so I don't know what's still there. But yeah, we'll have a look, see what we can find, and yeah, hopefully we'll get some new games for the collection. Hey, so we are back from Chatham, and as you saw, we had an absolutely stonking day. I was absolutely, well, I was torn because I was absolutely over the moon the fact that Game was still there. It's one of the only standalone game stores that I actually know of anymore. All the others have been moved into Sports Directs or House of Frasers and everything like that. So yeah, to actually see a standalone game store was brilliant. Unfortunately, it's very short-lived because they're actually closing that store down, which is a real shame because I love Game. I really do. I say I love Game. I love what it was, but not what it's become. Because now it's not really a game shop. It's more of a geek shop more than anything. So like when you go in the store that we were in Chatham, you literally had just the one side of games, and then everything else was sort of Lego plushes, board games, everything like that. But it's not like the game that it used to be, where pretty much 95% of the store was dedicated to gaming. It's just not like that anymore, which is a real shame. But yeah, as I say, it was a real shame to see that this game was shutting down. So we actually popped in, I believe it was December last year was the last time I was in Chatham. And yeah, I think when I went in there, I actually got a Alan Wake 2, little like tabletop standee. It's actually in my set of drawers just down there. So yeah, it was, as I say, it was good to go back in the store, but it's just a shame that the store is just a shell of its former self, and yeah, the fact that this one is closing now. But let's dive into the pickups, and our first pickup actually come from Cash Converters. So this was when I was walking into the town, I actually walked in the way to go past this shop, and yeah, I did go in and I did manage to get something. And that was Xenoblade Chronicles X on the Wii U. Now, I will be honest, there was a bit of a motive for picking up this one in particular. And that was because I actually had the case and manual from the Japanese pickup that we'd done last year. So yeah, it had the case and manual, which didn't have the disc. And when I went in there, saw it on the shelf, I immediately decided to pick it up. Because it was one I've had the case sitting to the side. I think I've got a stack of about 5 games that I wanted to pick up the discs for. This was one of them, and I thought at this price, $6.99, it was a no-brainer to just pick it up. So, unfortunately, I haven't been able to play it yet though, because one console that we are missing on the TV unit is a Wii U. Now, I am struggling a bit to think of how to actually get a Wii U on there, because I don't think I've got any plugs left behind the TV. So I'm going to have a look. I mean, what we'll do is we'll probably address that in next week's video, because I have got a couple of other plans as well revolving around the sort of 3 main consoles for this year. So that is the Mega Drive, the Wii U, and the GameCube. So I'll be talking a bit more about that in a future game hunt video. But yeah, pick this up for $6.99. Goes for £8 at CEX and £15 on eBay. So yeah, really, really happy to have that. Then next up we get to the game pickups. And the first one that we've got is a game, obviously. And that is Fatal Fury City of the Wolves on the PS5. So this was released in 2025 by KFO Studios. This is the 7th main instalment in the Fatal Fury series and the first new entry in over 25 years. Gameplay in Fatal Fury City of the Wolves is similar to that of its predecessor, with combat taking place on a 2-dimensional movement plane. Though one stage does allow the use of 2-lane system from earlier Fatal Frame games. I'll get there in a minute. City of the Wolves features 17 characters in its base roster, with additional 5 planned as part of its first season of downloadable content. And if I remember rightly, I think, yeah, this does actually come with the Season 1 Season Pass. But I haven't installed it yet because I haven't even got my PS5 connected to the internet. But I did get quite lucky because this was a game that I have had in my Amazon basket for a while. The game was priced at $19.99, but because the store was closing, I got 20% off that price. So I actually paid £16 for it. The game comes with loads of extras. As I said, it comes with the first season pass in the box, as well as a character skin. The game looks absolutely amazing, but the one thing that the one problem I always have had with the Fatal Frame games is just the difficulty level. I've always found them to be sky high and just not been able to get into them because of that. Definitely a game where I need to get good. It's not down to the game, it is 100% down to me. As I say, this is brand new and sealed, but if I was to get a pre-owned copy from CEX, I'd be looking at £15, only £1 cheaper than what I paid, and it goes for £18 on eBay, sealed as well. I can't actually remember how much it was on Amazon. I think it was probably about 19 or 22, something like that. But yeah, as I say, it was in my wish list. It was something that I'd been wanting for a while, and yeah, really glad to finally add it to the collection. Right, next up, we did get another pickup. Technically, it's a pickup from Game, and I did the same thing as what I did last year. So as I was checking out, I did ask the staff if they had any store displays that they were looking to get rid of, and to say that I got a store display is probably an understatement. So while the game itself hasn't been very popular, I did actually manage to get a standee. And yeah, this is probably the first one that I've actually picked up from a store, and I'll tell you the story behind it in a second, but it is the Black Ops 7 standee. So yeah, I was absolutely over the moon with this. So when I asked the guy, it was like, oh no, not really. We've sort of everything like that's been got rid of. And then he was like, oh, actually, I do have a Call of Duty one if you want it. And I was like, yes, please, sir. And then yeah, when he brought out the Black Ops 7, I was like, yes, absolutely over the moon. It was brilliant. So yeah, this is going to go into the collection with the other store displays. At the moment, I don't know where I'm going to put it. I don't think I'm going to actually be able to get it out on display at the moment, because the only real space that I've got for a big standee at the moment is in the office, or sorry, in the second games room, as I've been told that we need to call it. And that's by the door that goes into the garage. And at the moment, I've got my big Zelda display unit. So yeah, at the moment, I don't know where I'm going to be able to put this. So I think for now, I probably will just put it into storage with the other store displays. And yeah, I think at one point, I think I'm going to have to get everything out and sort of go through all of the store displays, because I've got so many now. I'd say 90% of them are Pokemon, but definitely, I think it was last year, we did get a whole load of Zelda ones. I've got quite a few Mario ones now as well. So yeah, definitely going to dive into my store displays in a video some point in the future. But what I did do is I did look this up online. Now, I will reiterate, I've got no intentions of selling this. This is definitely going in the collection, staying in the collection. And as soon as I can find a second-hand copy, I will be picking up the game as well. So, according to the standee, it is on PS4, PS5, and Xbox Series. So, yeah, as soon as I want to try and get all three of them so they can go with the store display. I have looked it up online, and I would probably say this is closing in on... No, I wouldn't say it's my most expensive one, because I think my Mario Odyssey ones are. But I'm seeing prices for this of around £170, which is just absolutely insane. Yeah, I was absolutely dumbfounded by how much these are. I think what it is, I think with the gaming, the actual sort of video game store displays, they are a lot harder to get hold of than things like the Pokemon displays, because a lot of the Pokemon displays that I've got, like the standees in particular, they've really dropped down in price now. They go for between £30 to £50, but yeah, the gaming ones, they always just seem to be astronomical. I think the other week, a couple of weeks ago actually, I was bidding on a tabletop Last of Us display, and I think the whole week that I was watching it, it was going for, I think it was around 30, 40s. Didn't really go too much. And I had to go to work, so I got the missus to try and bid on it for me. I don't even think I gave her a price. I was like, I really want it, but I don't know what I want to spend on it. So yeah, just come up with a reasonable price. And yeah, when I finished work, I asked her, and she's like, no, I didn't get it, because it went up to, I think it was about £250, £300, something like that. And this is literally a little tabletop standee. So I was like, yeah, gutted that I couldn't get it, because I think at the moment, if I had the choice of any store display, it is a Last of Us one that I want, because yeah, I would admit, I love the series, the game and the TV. So yeah, I think if I was to get any store display, it would be a Last of Us one. But unfortunately, every single one I've seen has just been going for absolutely stupid money. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be anything I'll be able to get anytime soon. But moving on, let's get into the CEX pickups. Now, I will admit, I will be honest, these were games that I had looked up online ahead of time, and yeah, was a big reason for going there. But what I would say about the CEX itself, I was floored. So I was looking in the windows and around the displays in the actual store, and it was high-end game after high-end game after high-end game. I very nearly did get a third pickup while I was there. So I've got 2 games from there. But as I say, there was very nearly a third game that I picked up, and that was Castlevania on the NES. But I was pushing my luck with what I'd already bought. So yeah, I did end up leaving it, which was a bit of a shame. But yeah, I was looking in the cases and in the windows, and there was games in there that were hundreds of pounds. And yeah, it was probably the most valuable CEX window I have ever seen. And yeah, definitely one that was, if you're looking for your high-end games at CEX, it was definitely one to go to. But what I ended up picking up was 2 PS3 games. Now, the first one I got was because it was one that I was missing in the collection, and that is Ridge Racer 7. So released in 2007 by Namco Bandai Games. Ridge Racer 7 is an enhanced version of the Xbox 360 exclusive Ridge Racer 6, with more content and releasing as a launch title for the PS3. Game has around 40 cars, many of which are from Ridge Racer 6 and Ridge Racer on the PSP. There are also 22 courses available in forward, reversed, and mirrored. The game runs at 1080p native resolution and 60 frames per second. The game received favourable reviews according to Metacritic, with a score of 78 out of 100. And as I say, this is a PS3 exclusive. As for the game, my thoughts are going to be a bit longer than normal. I have to start by saying that it looks amazing and has a whole range of different play modes to choose from. And I have to say, that is where the positivity ends for me. This is probably one of the worst racing games that I have ever played. And it fails on the one single mechanic that every racing game, it fails on one single mechanic and that is the drift mechanic. As soon as you lift off the accelerator, you're not even touching the brake, the car automatically goes into a drift. You have next to no control over how it takes the corners. It is something that is better to bin it into the wall than actually trying to drift it round the corner. After the race, I thought that I would give it a chance and see if there was an option to turn this off, but no. And yeah, because of that, it's just awful to control. It really is. And as I say, I've always liked the Ridge Racer games. And I am a massive fan of racing games in general. But as I say, the fact that this just automatically goes into a drift is just awful. And as I say, it was just the worst racing game that I have played. I would actually say that. I'd say there was one other racing game that I would say is worse than this. And that is a... what is it called? Something 4x4. Hardcore 4x4 on the Saturn. That is probably the worst game I've ever played. But this does not follow that far behind. That's how bad it was. And yeah, definitely one I'm not going to be putting any more time into. But obviously it will go into the PS4 shelves. But yeah, reluctantly, shall we say. So I ended up picking it up for £3. It is complete. Looking it up online, it goes for £6 on eBay. And then this next one was one that I have been wanting for absolutely ages. I do currently have a digital copy in my Steam library, but I have been wanting a physical copy of this for absolutely ages. And yeah, I decided today was the day that I was actually going to pull the trigger. And that is DuckTales Remastered on the PS3. So released originally in 2013 on PSN. This physical version was released in 2014. It's developed by WayForward, and DuckTales Remastered features a 2.5D presentation with 2D hand-drawn character sprites and 3D model levels. The gameplay of Remasters remains identical to the original DuckTales game, which we've currently got on the NES. I don't think it was released on any other platforms. I think that was a NES exclusive. I might be wrong. It takes players on the role of Scrooge McDuck as he travels across the world and beyond in search of 5 treasures to further increase his fortune. The PS3, Wii U and iOS versions received favourable reviews, while the Xbox 360 and PC versions received average reviews according to Metacritic. And as I say, this was the main reason for me heading to CEX, and I've been wanting the physical version for so long and absolutely over the moon to finally have it in the collection. All I can say about this game is that I absolutely love it. I do already have it in the collection, and yeah, that was, say, brought back in the day when I used to sort of buy games on Steam. I've been wanting a physical copy for ages, but it's always been on the high side with price. But once again, it was a case of that I saw it there and just decided to grab it. Graphically, the game looks absolutely stunning. And yeah, I think when I was playing through this for the video, I was probably playing it for about an hour and a half. And I think I got the first 2 or 3 artifacts. So yeah, definitely one that I'm going to go through and actually complete as well. But yeah, as I say, just over the moon to have this, and you can't get a better theme tune than the DuckTales theme tune in my eyes. So paid £40 for it out of CEX. Looking it up online, it normally sells for about £58 on eBay. So yeah, a bit of saving there, which was good. And then the last game that I got was actually an Amazon pickup. And I have to say, this was a bit of a weird one, actually, because I actually ordered this with a voucher that actually come from the wife's mum and nan. So they normally get me an Amazon voucher for Christmas, and I normally put that towards a game. So yeah, I've been wanting this game for absolutely ages, but I think I ordered it Christmas Eve when I got the voucher, but it didn't actually arrive until around the sort of 15th of January. So yeah, it was massively delayed. But it wasn't delayed. That was just the shipping time. And I will admit, when I went back and looked at the listing, because I've had this a couple of times with Amazon, and I just wanted to double check that it was the UK version and not the European version, because I've had that a couple of times with some games, but luckily when it arrived, it was the UK version. Yeah, not too sure why the shipping was so delayed. But that is Ghost of Tsushima. So released in 2021 by Sucker Punch Productions. The player controls Jin Saka, a samurai on the quest to protect the Tamaga. I'm gonna butcher these words. Tsushima Island during the first Mongol invasion of Japan. Jin must choose between following the warrior's code to fight honourably, or by using practical but dishonourable methods of repelling the Mongols with minimal casualties. The game features a large open world which can be explored either on foot or on horseback. The game received favourable reviews from critics, scoring 87 out of 100 on Metacritic for the PS5 version. And as I say, I've been wanting to pick this up for so long, but I've always stopped because I always felt that it was just too high priced. And yeah, I'll get to the online pricing in a minute. But yeah, I thought the price that this was at, with the voucher as well, I just decided to just grab it so that I had it. The game was absolutely impressive. I cannot deny it. It looks superb and everything. From the graphics, the sound, the gameplay. I do like the way that the control scheme has been designed. It gives you access to a whole wide range of actions with such simple inputs. I'm holding off from getting into this, like really getting into this. I think I probably played up until just after the opening credits. So I'm probably about 45 minutes to an hour into it. But I am holding off playing this for the minute because obviously I've just got off the back of two big open world games with the two Horizon games. But I will be getting into this later in the year. It is definitely one that I want to play through because, yeah, even just in the time that I've played it, it is one, yeah, I just want to get into it. But as I say, I want to sort of play some other games first before really diving into this. Because, yeah, I think this is definitely going to be one that will take up quite a bit of my time. But with regards to pricing, so I actually paid £20 for it off Amazon. And I used a £20 voucher. So I only actually paid $9.99 out of pocket for this. Looking it up online, it goes for £45 on CEX and £40 on eBay. So, yeah, I think the eBay price is the sealed price. The CEX price is just the pre-owned price. So, yeah, it was a pickup that I've been wanting for so long, and just absolutely over the moon to finally have it in the collection. And actually, I think as well with this one, it does tick us over as well. So this now ticks us over into 100 PS5 games in the collection. So yeah, when I was scanning it in, absolutely over the moon with that, because yeah, I'm actually really happy with the way the PS5 collection is going. Obviously, we've got quite a few years before we get to the level of the PS4, which I think we're currently at, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, so what, 100, 200, 300. I think we're about 340 now with regards to the PS4. But yeah, it's just a console I'm a bit addicted to. So yeah, that is all of the pickups for today. And I know actually I have nattered on a bit too much in these pickups. But before we move on to the final task that we've got for today in the games room, I want to announce the winner of this week's video, this week's giveaway. And stupidly enough, I have left it downstairs in sort of on my desk. But I was giving away a copy of the Halo Reach Special Edition. This was a duplicate that we had in the collection. And the winner for this week is going to be Matty Fowler, 2K13. And this was a comment that was left on my Tuesday video where we actually looked at an online game that the UK government have just released. So Matty's comment was that game was disgracefully bad. And yeah, if you haven't seen that video, I will put a link up in the corner. It is very eye-opening, to say the least. But yeah, congratulations, Matty. Matty is actually a long-time subscriber of the channel. I think he's been subscribed to the channel since the very early days. So yeah, massive thank you for that. But if you want to drop me a message on either Facebook or Instagram, and then I'll arrange to get this sent out to you, I should be able to get it dispatched on Monday for you. But yeah, that is going to wrap up the pickups and the giveaway. So now we are going to move on to the final task for today, and that is going to be to focus on a bit of a display piece in the corner just behind the TV. So let me get the cameras all moved about, and then I'll tell you a bit more about what we're going to be doing. Okay, so now we're going to do the final task for today, and that is going to be on this wall. So we are going to be putting up some shelves that I can use to display some of my action figures. So we've managed to get a fairly good collection actually over the last few years. So we've got action figures from Final Fantasy, SSX, what we got, Kingdom of Hearts, Guilty Gear. So we've got quite a few, and I've never actually been able to display them properly. I think the best that I had in the old games room was I literally had them stacked up on the top of one of the bookcases. So yeah, what I wanted to do is in this room, I actually wanted to have a proper place to actually put them. And what I decided is this wall was probably going to be the best one because this one isn't really going to be utilised for anything. So yeah, what I am going to do is we're going to start off at about just below waist level, and then we're going to go up to the top here. But I'm looking at what we've got. So what have we got? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 definitely that I want to get out. So that will take up 3 shelves. I've actually got 4. So I'm actually potentially changing one of my plans, because originally I was going to get one of the shelves. So these are the shelves that I've got. So what are they called? Mosslander IKEA shelves. So you'll see there is that they are sort of cut out. And what I was thinking was obviously you'd put the figures in at a bit of an angle. And that way it would allow us to sort of stop the figures sort of slipping off. And what I wanted to do was actually cut one of these in half, put this side, and actually put on my the Xbox wrestling game, the Undertaker edition, and the Super Mario 3, what are they called? Walkie-talkies, that was it. But just before I started filming, I was looking at that side. And obviously the big difference here is there is a bit of a gap between the wall and this bookcase, because this is where the plug sockets are. So what I'm actually thinking is I might use the 4th shelf up here for displaying them, and then not put the shelf that side. But yeah, I will I'll see how we get on with this, because as I say, I want to make sure that we get the 6 shelves on first, and then yeah, with that top one, we'll then decide with regards to sort of placement. So what we're going to do is going to get all the holes drilled, get the shelves on, and then what we'll do is we'll actually fill the shelves together. Okay, so that is all 4 of the shelves up. I wasn't able to do what I wanted up the top with the collector's editions because they are quite tall. So yeah, I think what we'll do is in next week's video, I might have a look, see if I can get them that side. But yeah, we'll look at that in next week's video. As well, I still need to get the shelf for that side. So, what I've done is I've put the Zelda and the Mario up the top, the Mario coins, purely because it's a low shelf, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to stick them up there while I had the ladder out. But we're now going to focus on these 3 shelves. Now, as I said earlier on, we've got a mix of bits to go on here, but the heights are going to dictate what goes where. So this shelf, I did measure it with the SSX figures. So I'm going to put the SSX figures here, and then probably the Final Fantasy figure and Guilty Gear here. That will then leave just the Kingdom of Hearts, I think. So let's get the SSX ones up, because yeah, I've been wanting to get these on display for so long. This is actually a set of 3. So what I'm actually probably be able to do as well is get the third, once I do manage to find the third one. So I've only ever seen it listed on eBay. I think I've only ever seen it once, and it was going to be, I think it was like 45 quid for the figure, which I was more than happy to pay, but then 55 quid from the shipping from America. So yeah, didn't want to do that. But for now, what I'm going to do is, until I get the other one, I'm going to put those there. Then I measured this next shelf with the Final Fantasy figure, and I have to admit, this is absolutely amazing. Once again, I don't go out to collect figures. I think this one actually come in the big Japanese bundle that we got last year. So yeah, really happy to have that one. Then we've got the Guilty Gear figure. Once again, I don't know where this one come from, but equally, not displeased to have it in the collection. And then just down here, so I've only got one more, and that is Pete and Chip and Dale from Kingdom of Hearts. But as you can see, I will admit, I wish I had actually done this a bit better. I wish I'd planned out what was going on before we put them on, because you'll see there's a massive gap now between the Kingdom of Hearts one, but equally it does give me a bit of flexibility if I do decide to put something else here. Do you know what I'm going to do? For now, it's not going to stay there long term, but I know I've said before that I did want to have this out, and that's my Pennywise figure. So I'm actually going to put that like that. So there you go. Not too bad, actually. I actually really like that. It's turned out so much better than I actually imagined. I am really happy with that. I think the only issue I've probably created for myself is an issue that's probably going to come up in next week's video. I'm not going to go too much into detail, but we've got one more thing to do in this area. And yeah, where I've positioned this shelf might become a problem. But yeah, I have to say, I think it looks so much better than I even thought it would. Well, I am really, well, that is going to be a great way to end the video. It really is. That is, yeah. Okay, stop. So, as I say, that is going to wrap up the video for today. But before you head off, obviously, if you are the winner of the giveaway, don't forget to send me a message on both Facebook or Facebook or Instagram, not both, Facebook or Instagram, and then we'll get you verified, and then I can get your prize out straight away. Also, if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to hit that like button, and if you're not already, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell to be kept up to date when I upload new videos. Also, if you are watching on mobile, don't forget to hit that hype button to help spread the video to more people. But what I will say as well is I've potentially got a very exciting video coming on Tuesday, and I'm actually going out tomorrow evening to film it. So yeah, hopefully that turns out as good as I expect. I'm actually going out and about to experience something. So yeah, join me on Tuesday's video for that. And yeah, so I am now going to get tidied up, and then I will see you on the next one. But I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today. Really hope you enjoyed the video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. All right, bye.